Welcome to my platform. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on your location. And if you like what I do here, please, after watching, subscribe, put on your notification bell, set it to all notifications so that you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. In this platform, we react to all forms of video. What we do before putting the video, analyze it, and we sit down there to watch it together with you. Then later we'll come to the comment section to talk about it. Of course, everybody is entitled to his or her opinion, but let us always do it constructively in the comment section.
I have a different view on this matter. And the truth of the matter is that it's what is playing out at the moment is a clear manifestation that there is a house that is not in order. Because the question you ask yourself, and every Nigerian should ask him or herself, is whether this bill that we're talking about, is it a rocket science thing that will take us almost 30 days, that the party and the leader of the party cannot be able to discuss on how they will take Nigeria to the next level as they promised? So you see, sometimes I choose not to want to waste my energy, in discussing issues that I feel they are not even issues at this moment, that we should be talking as national issue. These are issues we know, I agree, it's a constitutional matter that need to be taken very careful consideration. But the National Assembly have done their best in trying to push forward something, even if there are some areas that the president has issues with or whatever. You can assent and maybe also, get back to the National Assembly on some areas that you feel, you don't align with them on. But I think the fundamental issue there is about these direct primaries or indirect primaries, which also I also do not believe that, in a country where we practice democracy, and if anybody wants to coerce any organization, for example, I'm a member of YPP, and then I do not think that, the tenets of the democracy that we should enjoy, if somebody will just come and say it must be direct primaries or indirect primaries, you're already actually, intruding into my fundamental right of freedom of association or participation, according to the Nigerian Constitution. So I think that, frankly speaking, that window should be left open based on what political party themselves, want to. If APC or PDP have not been getting it right, for example, other parties should not pay the price of that. Okay? So what I'm saying is, frankly speaking, I think the APC and their leaders, they should not continue to waste Nigerians' time. The people are yearning, are actually desperate to see something, them living by example. How many days? 30 days? We're talking about 30 days? Kayode?
It will seem that majority of the political parties I have spoken to on this one they have this same idea regarding the direct primaries provision, saying that they still want a choice. But when you say that this is an infringement sort of on your fundamental rights, for the general elections, the election conducted by INEC, it's some sort of direct election, right? People, essentially all Nigerians go out to vote. We don't have the indirect provision. So why is that a big deal, really, within parties? People don't say you're infringing on my right by saying I must head out to vote. So why is that the case within political parties? Isn't that democratic?
Listen, is there anything wrong with the indirect as well? Is indirect primaries undemocratic? Is indirect primaries undemocratic? We have been doing indirect primaries even in other Western world, developed countries. They also do indirect primaries. Like I've said before, some group of persons have not been getting it right. And that does not mean that everybody is the same. Okay? We can't compare general election with party affairs. That's why it's called internal party affairs. Parties should be allowed, to choose, the means of how they want to. Let me give you our party, for example. In our party, in our constitution, we have what is called option A4 as a mode of conducting any election to office in our party. And that option A4 is almost like maybe direct primaries, but the only difference is that you are going to bring some delegates, from the wards, local government, or state. But at the end of the day, those delegates are going to queue behind the candidate of their choice. We have practiced it in the past, and there was no rancor in our party. And we have produced candidates where we went to an election. Okay? So like I said, I think that the people who have been given that opportunity over the years, and that's the reason why Nigerians should be watching. They should put their eyes on the ball. I think I will give most of the fault to even Nigerians, because some of the Nigerians who will go and they see some of these people who have repeatedly continued to violate, to do what they like, and they continue to vote them into power. They should punish them for their misdeeds.
Right. So, Mr. Makri,
I think my
just a moment.
Here, if I may please intervene at this juncture, please.
Okay, you can go ahead. We're due for a break in about a minute, though, but we can take your intervention, then we'll go to break.
It's okay. He's saying the same thing in a rhetoric manner. He is against the direct primaries, but he has to now put the political sentiment into it. You understand? I saw him on this channel sometimes ago saying that they are going to court if they impose direct primaries on him. And is this a constitutional issue? The Sun has explained that there is 30 days for either the president to assent or withhold. So there is not an infringement of anybody's rights. Yeah, we have to remove rhetoric. This is something that we can have by partisan views. No need of all this rhetoric trying to, if you want to get votes, you go and work hard, talk to Nigerians, what you have, your blueprints, and so on and so forth.
Well,
that is all.
Prof, you seem to think that he was referring to perhaps you or your party in this conversation. But gentlemen, just a moment. Just a moment, gentlemen. We need to go to break now. We need to go to break. But we'll be back to pick up this conversation. Akiri, National Chairman of YPP, as well as Professor Siju Madana, who's APC Director of Organization. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with us. So it will seem Professor Madana and Mr. Makri were trying to iron out a particular point. And Mr. Makri, he wanted to respond. He thinks that if you support the president, or at least other parties in the area of direct primaries, then you should, support with your chest and not try to find other ways. Is that a misinterpretation of your point, or what?
What I was trying to say is that the president himself has not even come out to tell Nigerians the reasons why he has not ascended to that bill up till the moment. I'm just I'm expressing my own concern. And my concern here basically is about the time that has been wasted. The time that has been wasted, 30 days, Kayode, it's not a small time.
Right.
So, and I don't want anybody to come here or any person to be telling me this consultation is going on. And I'm asking the question, why has this consultation not gone on for the past 30 days before now?
Okay, I see the point now.
I just wanted you to continue to pay the price.
Okay, right. So I see the point. I just wanted you to make your point on that one. So let's move to Mr. Raji, because we'll always need to look at the constitutional perspective from time to time, because that's upon the bedrock which we're building this conversation. So earlier on, you said that maybe dialogue is the way forward. Interestingly, Prof agrees with you on that one. And you think that the National Assembly should not override the president. So does that imply that, you think that this particular law is defective, or this bill is defective in the way it is, such that the National Assembly should not go ahead and pass it into law?
No, I'm not saying the law is defective. I have the greatest respect for the members of the National Assembly, the leadership. They are fantastic public servants. But what I'm trying to say, if you have a point, you have stakeholders across the board. They are taking divergent views. Politics is about compromise. What I'm suggesting is that, for example, we read in the papers that the governors went to Mr. President and they said, look, these direct primaries will not work. Therefore, do not allow it to be. And then the National Assembly member, they are saying, no, it should be. In that circumstance, and the governor said, it's not just APC governors, all of them, PDP, APC, and then APGA, whatever it is. So when you have a situation like that, we have to now look for a way to come to a kind of a settlement, because it's all about compromise. You might have a good idea where you want to introduce it. If it is not ripe, you have to tinker with it in a way that it will be acceptable and the backlash will not be much. This is all I'm saying. So I'm not condemning direct primaries.
Right, and in the same vein, you say that you are...
And I'm not condemning the National Assembly.
Right. In the same vein, you say you're not condemning the bill as defective. So if it's not defective, the National Assembly can go ahead and override the president if it's a bill or a law that will do better.
You now have to... will it be workable if the president of the country, who is going to fund the implementation of the bill, has withheld his assent? If you override or you veto it, it will be dead on arrival, with all due respect. And where you have key stakeholders, for example, we just had a judgment today on direct primaries in respect of Anambra, and what the court said there should make everybody to put on his thinking cap that there was no primary election took place in Anambra, meaning that primary election is very tricky. I mean, direct primary is very tricky. They have to be very careful. They have to get it right. Otherwise, if it becomes law, it is now mandatory. So where a party does not get it right in the way it has done it, it may end up not having a candidate. Shouldn't they think twice? So if they veto it, what about the implementation?
And I think you've raised a very important point.
INEC is talking in terms of almost 500 billion. Already they are talking of 350 billion. Nigerians are crying. And now they are talking of 500 billion to monitor all the direct primaries across all the parties. Is this country all about election? Is it all about elections? We have infrastructural decay. The schools are in tatters. Security network is in shambles. And then you want to go and be spending 500 billion to monitor primary elections because of direct? I think we need to have a holistic view of whatever it is in the bill, with due respect to the members of the National Assembly.
Well, I think you made an important point, trying to be realistic with this one, but it's a provision in the Constitution. I mean, Section 58 sub 5 talks about what the National Assembly can do. So if you say that the National Assembly going ahead to override the president will be counterproductive in this case, does that imply then that provision in the law is perhaps not realistic if the National Assembly overrides the president that is meant to execute the law? Are you saying that that particular section is not realistic?
Well, I'm not saying the section is not realistic as far as the letter is concerned. But when it comes to the spirit, there may be issues. For example, we have been clamoring for electronic voting. But when you look at our situation, this is a low-tech environment. If you legislate electronic voting, where is the power to support you? For example, in 2006 or thereabouts, when we wanted to do registration, electronic voters register and what have you, every polling unit, they were going about with generator, noise here and there, and then the whole thing always got messed up and what have you, and then the batteries packing up, what have you, and all these kind of things. You have to look at your situation. You don't impose a high-tech on a low-tech environment. Ditto, you don't put in place a law, the implementation of which will be sounding more in breach than observing it. If you legislate direct primaries, yeah, the letter is there. What about the spirit? So they need to balance it.
Right.
And then if the country is saying, oh, look, there's paucity of funds. Already now we have challenges. The world is moving away from fossil fuel, which is going to now have impact on the receipts into the revenue of the country. So, and then the entire world is saying no more to gas, no more to petrol, no more to diesel and what have you. And that is the source of income for Nigeria. So the little that will be coming, you use it to go and be monitoring primaries. And then the country is borrowing on a daily basis.
So I think you have merged some of the two
Shouldn't
issues.
That be Thank you so much for watching this video together with me. Like I said before, if it is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel and you like what I do, please subscribe, put on your notification bell, share this video, leave your comment in the comment section. You are free to criticize, but let us do it always constructively. Remain blessed. I appreciate your massive support and I love and cherish each and every one of you. Until I meet you again in my next video, for now I will say bye-bye.